Let's do this, Marcelo. We're back.
We're back, baby. No.
And another exciting episode of Starfleet So Hail, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today, we're focused on Star Trek Discovery's penultimate episode to the whole series, not just a season, but the whole series. This is it. There's only one episode left after this. So today, we're talking about Lagrange Point, or Lagrange Point, I believe it is. And I'm excited to be joined by you, Marcelo. Thanks for coming on this impromptu stream here.
Yeah, no, it's great to be back. I think I've been with you for every single episode. Are we talking about every single one?
Yeah, and it's been I almost were you on every single episode?
Almost.
You might have been. Yeah, I think you've been on every single one.
All right.
Yeah, it's been nice because I know you're a big Alex Kurtzman fan, and you like his work, and so this is kind of like his baby coming to a close here. He's wrapping it up.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a new baby in the works, though. A new bun in the oven.
New bun in the oven.
Starfleet Academy. But in the meantime, this bun is done.
Where the hell did that come from? That was good.
This is what happens when you have someone who's had a cold and maybe a little brain fog. So
yeah, well, brain fog is never good.
No, it's not. But say la vie. To the old folks. So Marcelo, I guess before we get into the discussion, I just want to know how are you feeling about the end of Discovery coming up? Like, what's going through your head about this show being another show that we've had in this new era? We've had Star Trek Picard completed, and now Discovery is the second show that's going to be completed. So how are you feeling about it?
I am feeling oddly strange about it because I've had a very up and down relationship with Discovery. It took me a really long time to fall in love with the show, like many folks. But now I feel like the show is hitting its stride just now, and it's getting its legs taken out from under it because of other reasons. Which is really disappointing. I will remember Discovery as a series that tried to go in interesting and new. I remember Discovery as a series that tried to go in interesting and unique places. All that they didn't get there most of the time, but I applaud the effort for most of their seasons. Like I think my favorite season of the show would have to be season 3. I know people love season 2. I know they love season 2, but I'm a season 3 kind of guy.
I think season 5 is my favorite, but I feel like the show became a show that I really started to enjoy at season 3. I thought it was one of the most exciting things Discovery did was to like take that leap into the future. So I do agree also that they are hitting their stride. The performers, like the writers, the music, like everything. Everyone's got like their groove on, if you will.
Yeah.
And yet it's the last season. But as we've been saying in an optimistic kind of note that, it's a good thing to go out on your best, rather than, your worst, even though I don't think Discovery was in any danger, even if it went on for 2 more seasons to go out on a low note. I think it would have just gotten better and better. But all that being said, I do think that, Discovery has, in this modern kind of time, we have so many possibilities ahead where we could get streaming movies, maybe even a theatrical movie. Oh wow, Marcel, nice job.
Yeah. Sorry, a little dust on the camera there. See my ugly face better. Ah!
You have a nice face, Marcel. But even still, like Discovery might be the first show to get a theatrical release of the modern era, which would be really, really cool. I would love to see it in movie theaters.
I'm not entirely sure how popular Discovery is to the layman's individual because I'm spoiled because I'm in the Star Trek bubble, and I don't see too many normal people just from my experience talking about Discovery outside of this little bubble that you and I live in. But the possibility of a live action theatrical Discovery movie is something that I'll be intrigued with, definitely.
I think that the possibility might be bigger than we think. I do also try to get out of that bubble from time to time, and people definitely knew Star Trek Picard, like related to Jean-Luc and TNG and everything like that, that normally don't, talk to me about Star Trek. But over the last, 7 years with this new era of Star Trek, overwhelmingly a lot of people who associate me with Star Trek but don't necessarily watch it, they'll always ask me about Star Trek Discovery. So I feel like they did a good
Awesome.
job of like knowing that this is
Marketing. Right.
yeah, I feel like the marketing team has done a pretty good job of at least letting people know that Discovery is one of the kind of prime shows, or whatever. So that's the one at least people ask me about. Are you watching Star Trek Discovery? Should I watch it? Those kinds of questions come up a lot. So,
Yeah. I mean,
but
and
but
also
that's but really, as we've had so many debates, no one really knows except for the streamers how many how popular a show is compared to another and stuff like that. It's a little bit of
right,
more of
that
a
is true.
mystery these days than it has been in the past.
That is true because we don't have the traditional Nielsen ratings anymore, so we can't look at the the
Although Nielsen's
the,
back in
the
the
raw
game, and
number.
apparent
It is.
although with view like minutes or something like that, watch time or whatever, and Discovery's leading the way this season
Oh, look at that.
a lot of the time, so that's good.
No, and I'm very, very thankful to Discovery because Discovery was the first ever Star Trek series that I watched on air as it aired with everybody else. And it was Discovery is the reason why I became an online Star Trek pundit. So, so thank you very much. And then there are other reasons why I love Discovery to the bottom, from the top of my head to the tips of my fingers, but I will not bore you with that. Because if you know me, you know what they are. So I'm not gonna. I'll skip right over that.
And if you don't know Marcelo, get to know Marcelo.
Nice guy.
Yes, nice guy. Marcelo, do you care to do the
Uh,
episode summary
I,
for this
I,
episode,
I
or
don't,
should I
I
do
don't
it?
mean to, I don't mean to make you suffer because I know you're not feeling well. But I don't like doing summaries.
All right, no worries.
Thank you,
I'll take care of it.
thank you.
Saru is back.
Woo!
The whole season, everyone's been waiting for Saru to come back. Um, oh, look, here we have some comments. That's cool. We have a comment from X. So, Ruben, have a great show, friends.
Hey,
And then
thanks, guy.
Discovery's
Thanks, Ruben.
awesome. Have either of you seen the finale yet? I
Ah,
cannot
that's a
say, but we're going to see it
I
on Thursday.
yeah. I can look. I can just say this. I cannot confirm nor deny. That's it.
Well,
That's all I'll say.
Marcelo, you haven't seen the finale, have you? You haven't seen it. I may
I have
have.
not. I have not.
I have Romulan
I have
ties to the Tal Shiar.
I have not. I have not.
So you'll
I
get
have
to
not
get
seen the
speculation from Marcelo, but not from
not
Starfleet Sohail.
not from my well not from him, but from my yeah. She'll get speculation from me.
But anyways, see, look, I get distracted. Don't nobody comment till the summaries. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so Saru's back. Everyone was excited, and asking where's Saru. So he's finally back. He's back from his little mission, diplomatic mission, and he comes back to find that the Discovery is about to intercept the progenitor tech, but that also Primarch Tahal is sending a fleet to investigate the coordinates. We know from last week that Maul is in charge of the Breen vessel. Tahal's plan is to probably go and take over the ship and integrate it into her fleet. So they're kind of in a little bit of a conundrum. Meanwhile, the Discovery arrives at the coordinates, and unfortunately, it's the coordinates happen to be right at the location of two primordial black holes, and the progenitor tech has been sitting right at the Lagrange point of the two black holes in a perfect kind of balance for the last like 800 plus years since the scientists who discovered the progenitor tech put it there. So while the Discovery is getting ready to figure out a way to get it, because they do kind of land off course and they almost get sucked into one of the black holes, um, the Breen ship that Maul is commanding arrives, and they take it. It's an interception, like in football, right? Like that would be what what it's like, right? And
Yep.
they take the
Yeah.
tech,
They took it
but
like
that
a thief
doesn't
in the night. Sorry.
but that doesn't dissuade Burnham. She quickly concocts a plan B, which is to go undercover and infiltrate the Breen ship with 2 squads, her and Book and Reese and Dira. One squad is going to be in charge of the shields, being able to lower the shields, and the other squad will put what's called a transpo lock on the progenitor tech so that they can easily track it and beam it on board the Discovery, and then they would jump out of range. So that's the plan. So unfortunately, though, to do it, they had to take a shuttle right through the exhaust port of one of the thrusters where there's a weakening in the shields, and so a lot of excitement occurs. They get in. They go through some shenanigans. We know that we know that there's some kind of holiday for the Breen, so there's some flirting that goes along, a little bit of action. Meanwhile, Maul. Oh, before all that, Maul's trying to figure out, and the Breen are trying to figure out what's in the progenitor tech. And when they open the device and send some uh, volunteers in, nobody comes out, and doesn't seem like there's an easy way to get them out either, because they tied like a tether to one of them, and it just sucked them right back in. So, anyways, the Discovery crew just kind of keeps staying like half a step behind the Breen crew, because everything they do is kind of like thwarted a little bit here and there. And finally, it comes down to they get captured, and Maul's about to, whatever, imprison them. But then she, Burnham, has an encoded message with Captain Rayner, and sorry, Commander Rayner, and he gets the message, and it means crashing into the shields at an angle so that the Discovery can go in and everything gets launched out of the cargo bay and they can steal the progenitor tech. When Maul sees what's up, she decides to go in to the technology, and then Burnham follows suit, and that's where we leave off. We leave off with the progenitor tech being released from its confines, floating amidst these 2 black holes in space, and Rayner giving an awesome speech about how the captain's in there, the progenitor tech is in there, there's no room for failure. Let's do this.
Well, that was the moment of the episode. The moment of the episode for me was a speech given by Rayner, because that was a badass speech. I mean, it was nice and short, but it was a badass speech. I thought this episode was really, really fun because, like I said,
Jonathan Frakes directed, by the way, PS.
yes,
Which he usually does a great job.
one.
Yeah, it's
Good
true.
old number one. No, I lie. The speech by Rayner was good, but my favorite moment of this episode happened in the very first scene when Saru showed back, because I've been waiting for that guy for weeks. If you've been
I think
watching
you
our
have been.
news,
It's true.
if you've been watching our discussions, I've been clamoring for Doug Jones to come back. So when he showed up with some flowers and a plant, it looks like, I got so excited for a guy to plant, which is funny. But I really like this. I really like this Ocean's 11 kind of deal where the Discovery has to infiltrate the Breen ship in order to get the MacGuffin back for the season. And speaking about the MacGuffin, I was really happy when they opened it that it wasn't like a physical thing. I was really surprised by the fact that it was a portal. And I was like, that's interesting. That's something I didn't expect before. And I'm like, okay, if you step in there, what's going to happen? But when the Breen soldier stepped in there, he was like the first guy to go into the cave in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh yeah, nice.
And instead of getting his head chopped off, he just disappeared. But I was very, very pleased with the way that the writers handled the the reveal of what the artifact actually is, and that it's a interdimensional portal to somewhere. So I'm excited to see how that plays into the finale. The other thing, I love Michael's plan of actually getting the MacGuffin back, or the artifact back of basically doing a B for barricade. That reminded no, that reminded me of Star Trek Five, when Captain Kirk crashed his own shuttle into the into the cargo bay of his own ship. You know, when he asked Scotty over the radio, going, Scotty, Plan B, and he goes, "What's Plan B? Plan B is for barricade, or boom, or something like that." But
It
it
was
was just
barricade.
funny.
I think it was definitely barricade.
Barricade,
Yeah,
thank you,
very nice.
barricade.
I didn't catch that. I mean, that's a good connection. That's nice.
Yeah, barricade.
How cool
Yeah,
is it when the Discovery's nacelles kind of like folded on top, like because they're detached already, so they could just kind of like fold
yeah,
up on top, and then she went in and she just kind of like did that maneuver. It was like pretty awesome, very
yeah. No. It
cinematic.
was
Come to think of it, I bet it would look great on a
on a big screen.
big screen. Yeah,
No, but it was just pretty badass. I mean, I wish Kayla Detmer was driving, but that's okay. That's a conversation for another time.
I know we only
But
have one episode left. Where's
yeah,
Kayla? Oh my gosh, and
where's Kayla? And where's Omo
they're
too?
having a great old time
On the Enterprise.
on the
I bet
ISS
I
Enterprise.
bet you
That's true.
I bet you that they drive for like what, maybe a day or two, and they spend the rest of the day drinking. That's how that's how I imagine the
Wow.
I don't know.
You think they're
I don't
just
know.
lushes, just having a
They're
grand
luscious.
old party over there on
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
ISS
yeah.
Enterprise?
I mean, that's what I imagine. But it
I
is
mean,
kind of
it's what
funny.
I might do. I
Yeah,
might drink and
yeah. I mean,
fly Starship.
yeah. I mean, it is kind of funny when you look at the cargo bay of the Breen ship. It is kind of huge. So when I first looked at it, I'm like, that's a big cargo bay. I wonder if I had it in my head. I wonder if a starship could fit in there. And lo
Not
and
any
behold,
Starship, but the Discovery definitely could.
or
She's
or or
smaller
these,
ship.
or that started. But this episode is a really, really, really good episode, but it didn't feel like an episode right before the final dance for Discovery. And the reason for that is because when they filmed this, they had no idea. So I really, really, my one hope is that Michelle Paradise and the rest of the team got an opportunity to wrap up the show in a satisfying way, with the extra time that they got, because they did a bunch of reshoots.
I think we'll find out
We'll
on
find out.
Thursday.
Yeah, we will find out
We will find out shortly here
on Thursday.
on what and hopefully we'll get to stream on Friday. There might be a little delay, but I'll talk to you about that offline. Audience, sorry, there's been a lot of delays. But anyways, I agree. This episode was super exciting. Everything from the music to the directing, all the segments, all the action, everything just like was so nicely put together, tightly packed. I think that it was appropriate to give the penultimate episode to Jonathan Frakes. I think he is a great director for Star Trek. I wish they would give him another Star Trek movie to make. I know that everyone's excited about all these other directors, but I really want to see Jonathan Frakes get the seat again.
You know what he could do? You know what he could do? End up doing? He could end up doing that Picard movie that we all think is going to happen.
Oh, maybe, but I don't think that's what the plan is. They're talking about some kind of
Yeah.
origin story or something. So who
Oh,
knows? Oh, you're talking about Jonathan Frakes doing the Picard movie.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah, yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
would be really cool. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
yeah,
have Jonathan direct it and have Terry Matalas write it. But Terry just recently got another gig, so I don't know if he's going to be available.
yeah. Or Kristen Beyer. I hear she does good work of the period, so she could be the one. Randolph Meredith Drake on X says, "Yeah, I often have to remind myself that the ship is relatively small by comparison to other ships. It's true. When you're seeing those beautiful shots in perspective, sometimes the Discovery could look a lot larger, but she's small. She's a small ship compared to these 32nd century behemoths that we
She's a
have
skinny
flying.
lady.
She's a dainty
Skinny,
lady of the
skinny
future.
lady.
So you said you were really excited about Saru returning. What did you think of all the
Oh yeah.
scenes between him and Tarina, and him volunteering to go on this
Okay.
mission to intercept Tahal?
The only reason that I think they gave Saru that moment is because the writers realized that, like, oh wow, for reasons out of our control, we're not going to have Doug Jones for X amount of time this season. So what we need to do when he gets back, or when we have him for block shooting, we need to give Doug Jones something meaty and something important to do. So when he comes back, we're going to do this. I loved it. I was like, hell yeah, you show up, say hi to your fiance, and then mount up and go do something. That's
Action
awesome.
Saru.
Action Saru. But I really, really, really like how Tahal, right? Tahal's her name, isn't it? I think, right?
Who are you thinking
The
of? The other
the,
Primarch?
the no, yeah,
Oh, the
the little,
President Rillick? Are you
no,
thinking
not the president.
oh,
Um, ah,
Tarina,
Thank you, Tarina. I
Saru's
was forgetting her
fiance.
name. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
All right,
We had to
Saru's
get
fiance.
through it.
Yeah. Whole
Sorry,
season, I can't get her name right. I like how
Tarina.
Tarina, thank you. I like how Tarina is really, really, really concerned for her future husband's safety. And I love the moment with her, and she just says something effective. Just stay safe and come back. And Doug Jones and all his wisdom says, "I will come back." It's just a great line.
I like the part where they're having that little discussion, and he's like, "I noticed you didn't put me on the list of on the list of suggested people for delegates for the, the mission," and she's all like, "I
Of
was
course not.
concerned. I was concerned that you might not want to go on it or whatever." And he's like, that you like your judgment would be impaired by your emotions or whatever. And I
Right.
like that he reminds Tarina that Vulcans are not the only species that value logic, and can put aside their emotions for duty and stuff like that. So that was a sweet scene, and she was like, "I stand corrected," and then they got all kissy and lovey. It was very cute.
W.
Do you still
Oh yeah.
think there's a wedding coming?
Oh yeah. There's a wedding. There's a wedding.
Yeah, there's got to be a wedding, right? That's like a
There
for
has
sure.
there
That's
no there has to be a wedding. If there's not a wedding, I swear I'm going to be really disappointed. There has to be a wedding. There has to be. Even look, Michael had a line in this episode
about the wedding. Yeah,
she
it's
referred
true.
to being a guest at a wedding. So why would the writers put that in there if they didn't plan to do the wedding?
I
I
think
mean,
that I think so. Yeah, I think
yeah,
you're right about that.
they could put the line there just to troll us, but I don't think I don't think Michelle Paradise and her other writers would be that cruel to us.
So, how did you feel when the Breen tech got stolen from the Discovery? Like when the progenitor tech, not the Breen tech, when the
I
progenitor tech got stolen by the Breen. And what
I
did you
was
think of the reveal of it? Like, what did you think of the little box, the little cylinder and all that good stuff?
It was really cool because I was thinking like giant, some kind of like entity, something to the effect of, uh, if you remember, of course you're gonna remember this because you're a long life Star Trek fan. If you remember the Encounter at Farpoint, when Picard and the crew first came across Q, they came across this like spatial vortex in space, right? I thought it was gonna be something like that. I thought it was gonna be like this ball of light kind of thing. But the fact that it was like this canister thing was
Well,
like kind of cool.
it was kind of a ball of light because it's revealed at the end of the episode.
Well, inside,
The
yeah.
the canister was what the scientists built around
Oh, okay, around
this
it.
portal, apparently.
Yeah,
So they've somehow contained the portal in this canister.
in the canister.
The progenitor tech, my impression is, has always been there since the
Mhm.
progenitors put it there, because that's what Tilly says. She says these are primordial black holes, and she thinks that the progenitors may have even put the black holes there
Right, right,
because
right.
they're like, it's all very unusual, like having these two binary black holes as well as the progenitor tech, just everything like, being so perfectly balanced. By the way, Jörg Hildebrand pointed out on Twitter that Discovery's first mission involved a set of binary stars.
Yes, it
You
did.
remember that? And now its
Yes,
last mission
absolutely.
involves binary black holes, and
Binary,
there's like this
binary black holes.
beautiful like symmetry. And
Symmetry.
Carlos Cisco, who writes for Discovery, said that they didn't know that Discovery season 5 was going to be the last, so they didn't actually like plan that to
Planet.
be like, like a poetic, if you will, like
Mhm.
bookend. It just kind of ended up that way. But then again, they also didn't know that the pandemic was going to happen when they wrote
No, they
season 3.
didn't.
So those Star Trek writers in general tend to be a little prophetic
They yeah,
uh,
I mean,
about things in Star Trek.
I mean, you can say what you want about the early seasons of Disco, but the Star Trek writers really had to deal with a lot of curveballs because they had the pandemic, they had this strapped on their heads at the 11th hour. And listen, you may not like everything that they do, but they do the best that they can. And what they've done this season, to me personally, is pretty good.
What did you think of the Plan B? Oh, I guess did you
Yes,
finish
but
saying
I'll
how
say
you
it
felt
again.
about the progenitor tech being stolen, and then what did you think about
No,
Plan B?
actually, I
Oh,
didn't finish.
okay.
Um, I was like, this is a kind of a downer moment for me because after the tech gets stolen by the Breen, like I think somebody on the bridge says to Burnham, "What are we gonna do?" And then Tilly says, "What are we gonna do?" And I'm like, guys, did you guys fall asleep on the after at the wheel? You guys need to go after them. What are you talking about? What you gonna do? Do do you guys think do you guys think you're gonna sit here and play checkers for 20 years? What do you go after them? I got so angry with that one line reading. It just made me angry. The fact that it was so dumb. Um, but
It is kind of
that
like
being
a moment of like, what do we do? Because
yeah,
you have this juggernaut of a ship that just stole the tech. Like, you have to stay cloaked, otherwise you're
yeah, yeah, yeah,
toast,
you're dead.
right? Like they
Yeah,
can't.
yeah,
Yeah.
I understand that, but at the moment, I'm like, if somebody steals something that I need to survive, let's say, I'm gonna go after them. So that moment of pause just for some reason bugged me. But listen, I really worried for Discovery in this episode because the Breen ship outguns them 10-1. So
Or
I was
more.
or more. So I was very worried that while Rayner and the crew were taking abuse up there, I was really worried that they were going to get split in half, and that would have been a really interesting way to go into the finale.
Well, Captain
I mean,
Burnham never says
yeah,
die, so we knew she was
yeah,
gonna
never
go
says die.
after the
Yeah,
tech. What did you think? Did you think it was like well, like, so what happens next, I guess, is they get Adira, because Adira can do the hacking really fast,
the
like with
hacking stuff.
the
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And there was that cute little moment where Adira, Stamets, and Culber were walking, before leaving on the mission, where they were just kind of like walking with Adira, kind of like giving them a pep talk or whatever and stuff like that. I don't remember if you're a fan of Adira's or not, but I know a lot of people that I've been talking to on these streams and listening to are not really big fans of either the performer or the character. But
I
I forget, what is your take on Adira, and what did you think of this kind of moment for them?
I feel that I feel that they really got shortchanged as a character in Discovery. They had such, if I'm using the right pronoun, they had such potential through Gray. Like And the fact that the Discovery writers weren't willing to develop that relationship with Gray and see the potential of where that could go and use that as a way for Adira to explore herself as a character and to explore herself as a person, that really made me angry. And the way that the way that have sort of kind of kept her in quicksand this season is like, I'm like, really? She has a ancient
They have. You were saying it right before,
sorry,
but
sorry,
anyway, I
sorry,
didn't mean to correct you. Sorry, go
sorry.
on.
They have a ancient being in their stomach. And the fact that they are kind of relegated to like feeling nervous for being on the bridge. I'm like, I mean, they should be past this by now. I mean, come on. So
Well,
I look,
yeah, go
look,
ahead,
I
sorry.
don't I listen, I don't blame the actress for this. I blame the writers for this. But I will say that they had a really, really good story this week. I really like how they were integral to this mission and how they contributed. I thought it was a step in the right direction, but I think it's a little bit too late for that particular character.
I think that Adira is a really strong character in season 3 when we first meet them, and I think that whole story, I agree, there's a lot I invested into it because that it's really powerful, like what happens with Tall, with Gray
Yeah,
Tall being killed, in that way, and Adira, the only way Adira can like hang on to that relationship is through, this like integrating with the symbiont. And then I thought it was also interesting how like we learn that, I guess we already knew this from TNG that you could do it for a little while, but like Adira ends up being the first successful non-trill um pairing with a symbiont. Like then we find out a lot more. So through Adira, I think we learned a lot about Trill, um, the Trill experience in a new way that we hadn't before. And I really enjoyed what they were doing with Gray and tying it into Star Trek Picard with the
Gollum.
golem, yeah, and like all that stuff. But then somewhere the thing just kind of fell apart, like where I didn't feel their chemistry anymore. And so I think it was a really good move to have them break up at the beginning of the season. And it was a nice thing, knowing now that this is the last season, it was a nice thing to see Gray off, like to say goodbye to Gray in a sense, and having that episode in Janal. And it was appropriate to the season, because Trill was one of the paths on the Clue trail and so on and so forth. So I like everything that the writers did. And I personally don't have any problems with either of the performers and their performances. They don't annoy me in particular, but I do think that I do agree that maybe Adira could have tapped into the symbionts
A
uh
little earlier.
like experiences by now and not be so nervous and so on and so forth. But it is uncharted territory in the sense that this is a human trill joining, and you know but I do feel like they could have leaned into it more because I feel like they did in the original appearance. I have to go back and watch season 3, but I feel like Adira felt more confident
Yeah, she
in
did. No,
in
no.
that
She felt
they did, right?
Adira. The first time I met her, I was like, I don't like you. You know why? Because she was so sassy and she was so confident. And when she came over to when she came over to the disco crew, it was like she that confidence that she displayed when she first met them for some reason just went away. I'm like,
Well, yeah, and then in this season, we know it was shook because of the time bug. Like they blame
right,
themselves for that,
right,
right?
yeah,
So,
right.
there's a lot of things that play. I think I'll have to analyze Adira a little bit better, but overall, I'm pretty satisfied with, kind of the Adira arc, and I'm glad that Adira is there for the final mission, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I consider them a regular part of the cast. So I like Adira. I wish
Mm,
they'd done. I do agree that I wish they'd done a little bit more to flesh out the character for sure.
mm,
But Blue Del Barrio is awesome uh, as an actor. I think
mm,
they're just starting out, but they have a lot of potential.
mm.
I'm looking forward to seeing them in something, in other shows and stuff like that as they continue on.
Can I just say one quick word about Tilly? I need to talk about Tilly for a moment.
Okay, yeah, let's go to Tilly. Let's do a Tilly
I
tangent.
uh,
I
yeah,
love
Tilly,
it. Who's
I
awesome in
like
every episode? Who's awesome in this episode
yeah,
too? But go
okay,
ahead.
okay. I've had some issues with Tilly this season because I'm like, I don't like I feel that she has one foot out and one foot in. And I really, really like the fact that she kind of went back to her sciencey, nerdy personality this week by really helping them on the bridge in that moment when they were dealing with the dual black holes, and her being the one that says, "Okay, if we go through it at this angle, we'll survive." Like, like, like that was such
that
a
wasn't.
early.
That
That
wasn't.
was that.
Oh, you mean that? Oh, like the correction from the black holes.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
you were talking about going through
yeah.
the shield at the angle. That was
No, no,
Stamets.
no, no,
But
no, no,
yeah,
no, no. I'm talking about going through the black holes. That was such a early season Tilly moment that I've like certainly been missing. And just a quick word, if they do not add Mary Wiseman as one of the cast members for Starfleet Academy, I think it'll be a
a
massive
shame.
mistake
I
because
agree. Although,
because
frankly,
because that's
Holly
what she's
Hunter could
doing.
just. Frankly, the whole show could just be Holly Hunter for 46 minutes every
Yeah,
episode, and
talking
I'd
talking
be
with an
be happy.
accent.
I love her. I love Holly Hunter. I can't wait for the
Yeah, it'll be good.
Academy show. It's gonna be
It's gonna be
so good.
great, man.
But yeah, I would love to see Mary Wiseman reprise her role as Tilly on the Academy show, and I would love for her to be a series regular if that's what she wants. I think she would be great. I agree with that. I especially liked in this episode when she gives Rainer a hard time about the seat, and he
Oh
get
yeah,
and
the
he
Steve.
that was a fun moment when she's like, you could sit down, and
Yeah,
then he says, why I picked you as my number one. Because if we were in a foxhole together, I wouldn't kill you.
I want to kill you.
So, I thought that was really funny.
That's very blunt, but it's Rainer, so he's very blunt. I really like how Tilly has been sort of the unofficial person to sort of give Rainer jabs every now and then about certain things, and this week is no different because he has the con. He's in charge of the ship while Michael is away doing her crazy stuff. And the fact that he won't sit in the chair really tells me a lot about him and how much respect he has for the command structure and the way things are supposed to go. But I do love if I could move ahead a little bit. I do love the moment where he's like, you know what? Damn, I'm gonna sit in the chair. So
But he waits
I
till
do
that
feel
moment, which is why it's
yeah,
so powerful, right? Like he waits till
yeah.
like the last scene in the episode is Rainer
It's him
sitting down
sitting
in
in
the
the chair.
chair. It's so good. It's
Mhm.
so powerful. I love that they did
Such a
that too.
such
It's
a
really
great
good.
moment.
Um, what did you think of all the shenanigans on board the Breen ship with the four crew members doing the? Would you call it an Ocean 11's type
The
of like
Ocean
a?
11
It
thing.
is a heist, actually. You're right. It's
It's a
like a
heist,
heist
yeah.
type. It's a total heist setup
Yeah,
and stuff.
I liked it. I liked it for the most part. The only thing I didn't like about it, I mentioned this on Tech Strike in the first reaction stream. Great channel by the way. Go check them out. They
Go
do
check
some
them
great stuff.
out. Yep.
Shameless plug. Um, I don't like when Jonathan Frakes did shots from inside the Breen helmet. I don't like the Iron Man vision. Um, and I do think that it's
I
kind
love
of
that. But anyways,
yeah,
carry on.
I do that's okay. Everybody's different.
I liked it
I
because it
do
was
think
different. It showed like I like when it
different
showed all four of
readouts.
them together, and it wasn't too
Oh,
crazy with the readouts and
oh,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
But carry on. Sorry.
Um, I do think that it was kind of convenient that they were just able to replicate the Breen suits so expertly by one scan. I was like, really? Um, okay, because that I could boil down to at the end of the day, I could boil that down to writer's convenience. I do it all the time. Um, yeah, so I mean that's the only thing that really drove me nuts about two things that drove me nuts about everything on the Breen ship. Um, the Iron Man, the inside the helmet look, I didn't like that, and I thought it was a little bit convenient that they could replicate the Breen uniform that well. And also, when they came across those set of Breen that they had to fight in the hallway, I don't understand why they didn't shoot them right off the bat. But a friend of mine pointed out if they shot them right off the bat, they would set off the alarms. So
That's
it was
probably true.
yeah. Yeah, it was wise of them to pull out the breathing mechanism that they have on the back of their in close to their spine on their suit.
That was fun though to see Book and Burnham doing their courier days thing, and like someone pointed
True.
out, I think it was on either the Text Trek stream or on the Salon, about how like it was nice to see they finally, Book and Burnham were 100% back in sync, because like in the beginning of the season they weren't in sync when they were on the planet. They were like kind of second guessing each other, saying, oh, you would do this move, no, not that move, like that kind of thing. And now
Yeah,
they were back to that kind of like um wordless synchronicity, if you will, and that was a really touching moment too, when Burnham has to kind of pull Book aside and say that like, hey, like this is the reason I have, seemed so distant or whatever, and Book's like, yeah, that's kind of what I did as well, which is a good scene. But my favorite thing of all was the reason for my screen name today. Marcel, would you like to be my Sark mate?
sorry.
That was so funny when
I
Book
gotta, yeah, I
when
gotta,
Book
yeah,
is
I'll get,
talking
yeah, yeah.
to the one
I,
Breen about, what is it called? The festival is called the
the festival, some kind of
Sarkarus
a soccer
Sarkarus
rest, yeah,
Sarkarus festival or whatever.
yeah. I mean, listen,
We simultaneously find out some stuff about Breen culture, and then a misunderstanding that we don't know if it's true or not, about that one Breen flirting with Book. I thought that was hilarious.
yeah. I mean, listen, that sort of that setup to that thing. I mean, it was hilarious, but I was like, this would be really uncomfortable for like Book. I mean, because I was like, it just felt really funny, but really uncomfortable. I'm like, just get out of this, just hurry up, because this is getting really, really sus. So I'm
I
like,
want to know
how
all about. I want to know all about what the Sark, the
the Salt
the
Festival is
the Sarkarus festival.
the soccer festival. Yeah, yeah. No, but it was it was definitely a good hilarious moment, but I think I just felt like kind of like I felt bad for Book because I'm like Book doesn't swing that way, so it's like he has to like really lie
Oh,
to his
you're
teeth.
making quite an assumption there. I think Book might
Really,
play. Yeah,
both
I
ends,
don't think I think the 32nd century definition of sexuality is a lot more evolved than
fluid,
our
fluid.
fluid. Perhaps is a good word.
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
think that personally. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of evidence in Star Trek. We're not going to go into it now, but I feel like
Yeah,
there's enough evidence in Star Trek to
to
substantiate
suggest that.
to suggest that as well.
All
So
right. Okay. Yeah.
I think he's maybe not down with the Breen guy, but
Joe, the freak
the
guy.
but the right situation. Who knows?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
who knows? It's very fun.
but you know,
Also, like you have to remember, like in the 32nd century, like first of all, Book is an alien. He's not a human. Remember
yeah, that
that,
is
right?
true. That is true.
And
But
humans be hooking up with everyone in the future. Look at Captain Kirk. He doesn't care. Like he's hooking up
and
with like
and look at Beckett. She hooked up with everybody. She hooked up. She
yeah.
hooked up with a Odgebodge, the chick in the red dress that almost ate Boimler's brains. You remember?
Wait, I
Yeah,
don't remember that. It's like,
yeah. It it's episode 2 of Star Trek Lower Decks when Boimler gets entrusted with taking
The one who calls him a
yeah,
nasty boy, and then he's
yes,
like, "Look,
yeah, that's
the
the
Jaham."
Odgebodge, or
She
yeah,
didn't hook up with her, that like
yeah,
lizard lady.
yeah.
No, I don't remember
No,
hooking up with her.
but no, but before she ran away, she called her by her name, so she had to hook up with her. She had to
Oh,
have
I
heard
don't
it.
know. That's an
I don't know.
assumption,
It's an
Marcelo.
assumption. It's an
It's-
assumption.
but that was a funny scene where she's like, "I
This boy
hear
likes
you're a
to rock and
nasty
roll.
boy.
This
I
boy likes
hear
to
you're a
rock.
nasty boy, Jamaharan thoughts. I know this boy
This
wants
boy likes to rock and roll.
Jamara."
No, fucking
So
Korean
good.
in the face. Sorry.
Speaking of which, this weekend was the Lower
That
Decks
was great.
streamathon, and also one for Star Trek Prodigy happened on Sunday, so that was cool. There was a lot of Star
Cool.
Trek
Star Trek's.
streaming. Oh, look who's here!
Oh,
Speaking
cool.
of,
Hi, Arthur.
this is the Breen commander over here. You
Yeah.
guys don't know this, but the Breen are actually cats. They're actually real in real life
They're
IRL cats.
cat. They're cat.
All right, so we're coming up to the. We've talked about pretty much everything about this episode. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there's anything that
Uh,
you want to talk about,
uh,
but I want to
yeah,
say finally at the end, it comes down to when Maul sees that the Discovery's what they're up to and figures out the plan. She decides, all right, this is it. I got to go in. So she does, and then Burnham goes in after her. So
of course she
that's
does.
like huge. We don't know what's gonna happen. What are your
Oh, yeah.
predictions, Marcelo, for the
I
finale? What's gonna
look,
happen? Where are we going?
look.
What's gonna Are they gonna
Okay.
be all right? What's Tell me,
o-
tell me, tell me.
Okay. Okay. Well. First, let's get the obvious thing out of the way.
Audience, if you're watching this too, if you're there, give us your predictions for the finale as well.
Okay. Let's get this thing out of the way first. If there's not a wedding, I'm going to just. It's not acceptable. It has to be a wedding. Uh, and like I'm really curious. Like, how in the world are Michael and Maul going to get out of there? And
Or
how?
what's
And
inside of there? It's crazy.
yeah, yeah,
What's the progenitor tech gonna look like?
yeah. I don't know. Like like I said, I think it's gonna look like something similar to like to the Q
Continuum?
organism
Oh.
thing, continuum thing.
Not the continue. You're talking
The
about the jelly kind of fish
the
things,
yeah
like
yeah
inside. Like you think it's alive? You think the progenitor tech is alive?
yeah yeah.
Ooh,
I
I like
I
that.
have I have well, well, you're not playing fair, are you? Uh, joke, little joke. Um, yeah, but I think the progenitor tech is alive, and I think that if if Discovery can't go in there, I think Michael's gonna have to get. I think Michael's gonna have to get herself out, and I think that we're gonna get some flashbacks to the pilot. I don't know what we're gonna see, but I think we're gonna get some flashbacks to the pilot. I have nothing to back it up because I've not seen the episode yet. Because I'm like a normal person. I will see it like everybody else in a couple days. But yeah, and listen, I'm just really hoping for a nice, fun final episode of Discovery with some wedding and some drinking at the end.
Let's talk real quickly about your favorite Star Trek. So, of the shows that have finished so
Uh-huh.
far, which would be, the original series, uh, TNG,
TNG,
uh, DS9,
Voyager.
Voyager,
Mhm.
and Enterprise, and now
Mhm.
Picard. What was
Mhm.
your favorite of all those shows finales, like series
Well,
finales?
okay. Well, I'll give you my top two. My first favorite
I
finale
like
of the new Star.
Real quick, I like this. Book and Burnham plant the root on a new planet. Yeah, it sounds like a good thing for them to do. But carry
Cool.
on,
That's
Marcel.
fine. So I'll give you two of my favorite finales of Trek ever. Well, first up, for new Trek, my favorite finale is the finale for Picard season 3. I
Well, there's only
love
one. That's the only other
yes,
finale right
yeah,
now. So
yeah,
it
yeah.
has
There's
to
only
be
one.
your favorite until you see Discovery. Then you can really say. But,
There's only
but
one.
okay,
The
okay,
other,
fine. That's
the
my
other,
favorite too right
yeah,
now. Until let's
yeah.
see. Let's
The other one,
see.
the other one is the finale for Star Trek
Deep
TNG.
Space
All
Nine.
good
Oh,
things.
TG, All Good Things is my favorite.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. Because my favorite Star Trek of all time is TNG, so I'm a TNG guy. Um, um, but Voyager's finale, kind of disappointing. I mean it's fun, but the last shot. of that finale ticks me off every time. I can't even speak about Enterprise. I love Enterprise, but I can't even talk about it. I'm still healing after that. DS9, very emotional, very heavy, but it's high up there, but it's not my high point. So I guess it again, Picard season 3 and all good things for TNG.
Very nice. I actually have ranked the finales ahead of Star Trek Discovery's finale in
Okay.
an order, and I chose here. Let me go to my little ranking here that I did.
Ranking
Where'd it
pad.
go?
Everybody loves ranking.
All right, so my number 7 was These Are the Voyages, Enterprise's finale. My number
Mhm.
6 was The Counterclock Incident. I consider that a pretty good finale for the animated series.
Okay.
The Last Generation was number 5. That's the Picard finale. I placed Voyager's Endgame at number 4.
Mhm.
And then number 3 was What You Leave Behind, DS9.
You're behind.
And for Star Trek the original series, I don't count Turnabout Intruder as the finale. So I made an exception and put Star Trek 6 as the finale of TOS, which I
Oh
think it
my
kind of
god.
is. It's kind of an appropriate thing to do, so that's
Okay.
my number 2.
Okay.
I feel like, yeah,
Okay.
like, that's like the end of their journey if you think about it. And then All Good Things gets the number 1 slot. So
Uh,
where will Discovery fall in that rank?
yeah, I
It'll be
mean,
the 8th series finale of Star Trek that we've ever had, so it'll be interesting.
like I said, I hope it's fun, and I hope nobody does. And that's unusual, and that is very unusual for
Everybody
me.
lives.
And
Let's
that is
hope.
very
Let's see.
unusual. Yeah, that is very unusual for me because as a writer, I like to kill off characters, but I don't want anybody to die on Discovery. No death.
Well, closing thoughts on this episode. I think that Jonathan Frakes did a magnificent job directing. I think everything was just top notch for this penultimate episode, the finale before the finale, if you will. Um, I think that yeah, all the actors did really well. The music was superb. I'm gonna have to give this episode an 11 out of 10. So that's my first 11 of the season. So,
Yeah,
Marcel, what about you? Ratings and final thoughts.
yeah, no, no. This I really really enjoyed this sort of Ocean's 11 um last episode before the final dance for Discovery. There were some things that didn't work for me, and there were some things that I thought could have been done better. Some I mentioned on the on our review here. But for that reason, above all, I will give this episode a 6 out of 10. Yeah,
All right, and our audience member TAICJM gives it a 9, so that's pretty awesome.
nice.
All right. Well, we're excited. Tomorrow, midnight or Thursday, the final episode, the Star Trek Discovery finale drops. We're all going to be talking about it all through the weekend, I'm sure.
Get the tissues. Get the tissues ready,
Get
folks.
the tissues ready. Fingers crossed we're going to a wedding. I didn't see my invite in the mail yet, but maybe it's still coming. Uh, Marcel, it's
I
been
bought a.
go
I
ahead.
bought a. I bought a T-shirt that has a picture of a tux on it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I am so all in on this wedding that if there is not a wedding, I don't know what to do with the T-shirt now.
That's really cute. I hope there is a wedding just so that you'll wear your t-shirt. That's pretty awesome.
Uh,
Well,
yeah,
thank you for joining me this whole season, Marcelo. It's been really fun talking about Discovery with you.
it's been
Um,
fun, man.
Folks, don't forget there's other great channels out there that are talking about Discovery. Among
Yeah,
them, of course, the big channels. You got Trek Culture, you've got the Trek Yards crew, you've got Jesse Gender, you've got Kurt Tratz. There's a lot of
he's
folks out there. Don't forget our pals over at the Salon. Go check them out, Salon Trek, and of course Tex Trek, our sister ship, if you will, which also does a great job covering Star Trek Discovery. I look forward to talking the finale with you, Marcelo. Until then,
it'll be
audience,
fun.
live long and prosper, and we will see you